Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I make several videos a week all about cruelty-free beauty, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, hope you'll please consider subscribing. I have another 5 looks, 1 palette for you here. I'd like to do this series on my channel. I do have a playlist. It's always listed in the description box below if you want to see any of my other ones. But today we're going to be using the Bare Necessities palette from Colourpop. Just this really pretty neutral palette with 30 shades. I mean, we have 30 shades we can play with, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I've already primed my eyes and then I set that with full expose. Okay, but I'm going to start right here in the shade In the Buff. I'm going to take that on a blending brush from e.l.f. This shade is just a teeny bit darker than my natural skin color, so I said it'd be perfect for kind of like a good transition color. Just start with this shade. And while I'm here, I'm just going to also run a little bit of that shade on my lower lash line as well. Usually I save this for the end, but I already did the rest of my makeup, so I said I can go ahead and do my lower lash line at the same time. And on that same brush, I'm going in with the shade Hope, but I'm just going to take a small amount of this each time. I remember this shade being pretty pigmented, so I want to start off with a small amount, and we're just going to put that in my crease as well. And then I can build it up from there how I like it, but I want to keep it a little bit softer. And in small amounts, it's much easier to blend. Of course, I mean, Colourpop shadows are easy to blend anyway, but with deeper shades, I find this really helps me. Okay, and then I'm going to take the shade Fuzzy on a concealer brush from e.l.f. But just any flat brush will do, something kind of like that. And I'm just going to press that on this outer portion of my lid, kind of patting it down first. I'm doing 3 different shimmer shades on the lid, or I'm going to try to. One of them looks like a topper shade, so I can't use that one like I had planned to, but I'm going to do my best. Then, as always, I go back in with that blending brush and just blend slightly around that edge a little bit. I like to do this in between each shade that I do, just to make sure everything remains blended out, nothing's too harsh. And on that same brush, I'm going to take the shade Rumored. I just wiped off the excess of that other shade. And I'm going to place that on this inner portion of my lid. Okay, then I'm going to go back in with the shade Hope, just a teeny amount of that shade. And then I'm going to run that on my lower lash line. I only dip my brush just like a tap, just like that. I don't want a lot of this shade. This look turned out really soft. I want to keep it softer. And then I'm going in with the shade The Talk, and I'm going to take that on this little small precision brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to pop that on this inner corner. Kind of drag it underneath that lower lash line as well. Okay, and because this look is so soft, I'm just going to go in with mascara today, and I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty mascara on the upper lash line, and then on the lower lash line I'm going to be wearing the Merit Tubing mascara. These two are in my everyday makeup drawer, so I'm trying to use them as much as possible, but I'm going to do that right quick and I'll be right back. Okay, and here are the eyes all done. So that is look number 1. Stay tuned for look number 2. Okay, we're going to start with the shade On Holiday. I'm going to take that on a blending brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to start running that right in my crease. This shade is similar to the other shade called In the Buff, the one I used in the first look. But this one has a little bit more pigment to it if you build it up than that one. I just kind of want to get this color down first before I go in with the next shade. Then using that same brush, I'm going in with the shade All For You. I'm going to also put that, work that into my crease. Thought about doing a halo eye today, since I did more of the regular look yesterday, or like the classic makeup style I should say. Okay, then I'm going in with the shade Dutch Process. I'm going to take that kind of on this flat style brush from e.l.f. It doesn't have a name on it. It's from their Game Up collection. It just looks like that, just like a little flat brush. And this shade's pretty pigmented, so I just picked up a little bit and I'm just going to start stamping that on the outer and the inner corner of my eye. Just getting this shade down first. This is one of those matte shades that have like the glitter in them. I know some people really like those or really dislike them, so it just kind of depends on your preference. Me personally, I love them because I love to sparkle. I like glitter stuff, so to me, I'm fine with it. I'm just going in with this fluffy brush that I used at the very beginning of my look. Just go around that edge. Then I'm going in with the shade of Cufflinks. I'm just going to take that on my finger. Just going to put that right in the center of my lid. Then I'm going to take the shade Idle Hour, also on my finger, and I'm going to place that right over where I just put that shade. I just wanted that other shade like as a base, because I don't know if it's coming up on camera or not, but you can see some of that purple still underneath that shade, so that's why I wanted to put it down, put that other shade down first. I'm just going back in with a little bit more of that Dutch Process shade. I went a little too intense with the shimmer and took part of this shade away. Then I'm going to take the shade Tabloid and On Holiday and mix those two together on a little blending brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to run those two right on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to go back in with the shade Idle Hour on that same brush, and I'm just going to pop that on that inner corner. Okay, I'm just going to put on some mascara and some false eyelashes, and I'll be right back to show you the finished look. Okay, for these lashes, this is the LA Colors Dramatilash Extra Mink Effect, and it's in the style Ba Ba Boom. They come in like a packaging kind of like that. You know, after using my ioni lashes so much, these are not my favorite, so I'm trying to use them up a little more and get rid of them. I don't really like this type of style for me. Just not really what I go for, but they're nice lashes if you like this style. And for my waterline, I'm just using the LA Colors Neon Gel Eyeliner. This one is in the shade Enchanted. This is just in my everyday makeup drawer, so I'm just trying to use it as much as possible. But here are the eyes all done. But that is look number 2, so stay tuned for look number 3. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of Banter and a little bit of Hot Gossip on a blending brush from e.l.f. I'm just going to mix those two together. And then I'm going to start running that into my crease. I just dipped into those shades a few times just to keep it kind of soft at first, and then I can build up as I go. And then I'm going to take those same two shades and run them on this lower lash line as well. Just mix them together. This is a eye crease brush from e.l.f. I'm going to keep today's look kind of simple. Another all mascara look. Okay, and then I'm going to take the shade Tabloid on a 201 brush from e.l.f. I know some of these brushes with this kind of clear, hard, plasticky acrylic. Maybe it's acrylic. Maybe, yeah. I don't know if they still make these brushes, but that's basically what it looks like. Just any flat brush will do. I'm going to take a teeny amount and start pressing that on this outer corner of my eye, about halfway through. You can make this shade as deep as you want. I just want to keep it kind of soft today, like just really easy. Perfect for every day, for work, for anything like that that you have to do. Maybe you can't wear a lot of makeup. Or maybe you just wake up in the morning and you don't want to wear a lot of makeup and you just want something simple. And we're going back in with that blending brush. I'm just going to blend around that edge. It was already soft, so we don't have to do much blending. Okay, then I'm going to go in with the shade Full Expose, and I'm just going to use that same brush and I had wiped off the excess of that other shade. I'm just going to put that on this inner portion of my lid. Then I'm going to take the shade Idle Hour. And I'm just going to take that on that eye crease brush from e.l.f. again. Just dip into that. And put it on this inner corner. You don't have to do this. You could have left it more on the matte side if you wanted. I just like to have a little bit of sparkle. Also, this next thing you don't have to do too. You can put on mascara here, leave it at this, but this is in my everyday makeup drawer, so I'm trying to use it as much as possible. This is the LA Colors Neon Gel Eyeliner, and this one is in the shade Swell. It's just a really pretty, vibrant blue. I thought it'd be really pretty with this neutral look. Just put it in my waterline and just add a little pop of color. I think that adds just a little something extra to the look. You don't have to do that, or you can use any color you want if you want to do that. And then last thing, I'm going in with the shade Taboo, and I'm going to take that on a small angled brush from e.l.f. And I'm just going to take that and lightly press that on my lash line. Just very, very subtly. Okay, I'm just going to do some mascara, and I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty mascara for the upper lashes and the Merit mascara for the lower lashes, and I'll be right back to show you the finished look. And here are the eyes all done. So there you have it, look number 3, so stay tuned for look number 4. I'm going to take the shade Tease Me and the shade Hustler. I'm going to mix those two on a blending brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to start putting that right in my crease. I probably have to build them up a little bit too because they are softer shades. Hustler is a little bit deeper than Please Me, but they're both like peachy blushes, so I figured I'd just mix the two of them. I'm trying to use as many of these eyeshadows as possible in this palette. Okay, I just took more of the shade Hustler. That one's the deeper one of the peaches, so I just took more of that shade to get that more color payoff. Those two shades are so pretty, but if you notice a little bit of patchiness in this part of my eye, it's not the eyeshadows. I'm dealing with a little bit of dryness there, so just ignore that because it's not the eyeshadows. These eyeshadows perform amazing. It's just a little bit of dryness. Okay, and then I'm going to take this brush from e.l.f. It doesn't have a name because it's from their Cookies and Dreams collection, but it just kind of like a flat brush, but it's smaller. It's a little bit densely packed. And I'm going to go in with the shade Prefix right here. That shade's pretty sparkly, so I did spray my brush with some setting spray to kind of hold it a little bit more so it won't be flaking all over my face because I do have the rest of my face already done. Just going to press that on this outer portion of my lid. I want to use more shimmers today since yesterday's look was all matte or mostly matte, so I want to really use the shimmers today. And using that same brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Genie. And all these shades I'm spraying with setting spray to make them a little more intense, but also so they won't flake all over my face. Normally I wouldn't mind, but I already did the rest of my makeup today. I just did my routine a little bit differently. And I just don't want any fallout if I can prevent it. And last shimmer shade, we're going in with the shade Silk Teddy using the same exact brush. And then I'm going to place that on this inner portion. It's the last little corner that I had left with no shadow. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with this shade right here. This is the shade Crack On. I'm going to take that same little brush. I'm only going to dip in that a little because this shade is pretty pigmented, and I'm going to run that on my lower lash line. And then lastly, I'm going to take the shade Idle Hour using that same little brush, just keeping it very simple with the same brush. And I'm just going to pop that on this inner corner. Okay, I'm just going to put on some mascara and a pair of false eyelashes, and I'll be right back to show you the final look. The lashes I'm going to be using are from Ioni. These are their 3D Faux Mink lashes in Sweet Macaroon, which are the fluffy doll style. And here are the eyes all done. Well, that is look number 4, so stay tuned for the final and 5th look. We're going to start with the shade At the Full on a blending brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to start running that into my crease. I got the tape today just because all the shades that I have left that I haven't used in this palette yet, they're more on the deeper side, so I can maybe make the looks a little bit more dramatic. And use a piece of tape to kind of help me get that shape that I'm looking for. On that same brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Velveteen. Just dipping into that shade very lightly. Because these are way more pigmented. I'm just going to run that also in my crease. You also don't have to do this particular shape if you don't want to. You can just do more the rounder shape if you prefer. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Baubles on a flat brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to start stamping that on this outer portion of my lid. Kind of also bringing it in that shape a little bit. Giving it a little bit of a point here on this outer edge, right in here. I'm hoping you can see what I'm talking about. Then I'm just going to take that blending brush and run it right in this area. Just to start blending that a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to go in with the shade Spree on an eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. And I just sprayed my brush with that shade, and I'm going to put that right here in this middle portion. And then I'm just blending around that shimmer shade just a little bit. Then I'm going to take the shade Designer Duds on a flat brush from e.l.f. and I'm going to place that right here on this inner portion. That last little bit remaining. I'm going to take it a little over where I put that Spree shade. I really didn't like the way that looks, so I'm just going to put that over it a little bit. Then I'm going to take the shade Spyglass on an angled brush, and I'm just going to take that and make like a wing with it. I'm kind of fade it out as I go more into the lid, like right in here, just kind of have it kind of faded out into that deeper shade that we have on the outer corner. Okay, I'm just going to do my other eye and my lashes and everything off camera, and I'll be right back to do the lower lash line. Okay, so I know my other eye isn't done, but I noticed my camera's battery is very, very low, so I just quickly popped on a lash and some concealer so I can finish up this eye look for you guys, and then I can focus on doing the other eye later. But I wanted to finish up this lower lash line for you. But the first thing is I did use the Ioni 3D Faux Mink lashes. These are from their Bridal Suite collection. These are Soulmate in Fluffy Full Feather. They come in a packaging that looks like that. So I'm going to go back in with the shade Act a Fool and the shade Velveteen. I'm just going to mix those two together. And I'm going to start running those on this lower lash line. I can't believe I didn't pay attention to my camera's battery. But at least you can still see the look, because I wanted to finish this look for you. I'm sorry about that. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Idle Hour on that same brush, and I'm going to pop that right here on that inner corner. Kind of scooping it up into that beginning portion of that crease. Okay, so here is that eye all done. So if I've counted correctly, I have used 28 out of the 30 eyeshadows for these 5 looks, so I think that's pretty good. I've used almost the entire palette, but here is the 5th and final look. But there you have all 5 looks with this palette. I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and thank you so very much for watching, for commenting, for liking, for subscribing. It truly means the world to me. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!